Yes.
Anyway, on to the other British royal family, the Beckhams. Well, rumours of that family feud, they don't appear to be dissipating. What's the latest?
So, yes, this feud, the nucleus is meant to be a butting of heads between Brooklyn Beckham's mother, Victoria, and his wife, Nicola Peltz, of course, and they're both very strong-willed, and it's a very emotional situation which culminated in Brooklyn and his wife abandoning all of David Beckham's 50th birthday celebrations, which is really very sad because this is a family which their brand is a very tight unit, and I also think is legitimate as well. I mean, the kids and the mum and dad are always being photographed together and doing lots of events together, and there's a real authenticity there. But Brooklyn has done an interview in which he talks, and it's a bit sad really, he talks about his passion for cars, and he says that's one of the things that he bonded with his father David over, sort of the love of motor vehicles and things like that. But look, this feud, I can't see it ending anytime soon. On that note, I will add that I did see a story this week as well about how Harry and Meghan apparently are counselling Brooklyn and his wife in California because they've clearly been through a similar thing. But I think, children need to respect their parents and perhaps make the first overture and making things up. And I think the ball is very much in Brooklyn's court here.
And not necessarily the people I'd be going to with a how to deal with a family feud situation. Onto something a little, just quietly, onto something a little more serious though, and the trial of rapper Sean Diddy Coombs that has started. It has revealed some horrific details of alleged abuse. Now, this situation, I have a feeling, is going to go from bad to worse, but what has recently been revealed in the testimony?
So Cassie Ventura is his ex-girlfriend who is in the witness stand at the moment. She's the star witness, obviously, for the prosecution over Diddy's sex trafficking trial in the Manhattan court. She's 8 months pregnant with her third child to her husband, so it's obviously a very stressful and emotional time for her. And I have to say, some of the evidence that's come out should carry a warning because it is absolutely vile and just unimaginable what I think she allegedly went through. And what she said most recently is that she alleges that Diddy stomped on her head and punched her and would fly into these sort of terrible rages if she made the wrong face or sort of looked the wrong way. So the micromanaging of her behaviour was such an extent, she says, that he would lash out if something wasn't to his liking. So it's a very, very upsetting court case, I think, and obviously very triggering, I think, for a lot of people to listen to this type of evidence and the allegations that Cassie's putting forward.
Absolutely, and after the whole Harvey Weinstein saga, I feel like a lot of people are perhaps feeling like we're going back around the same mountain again. Onto the Cannes Film Festival, and it's recently changed its dress guidelines to ban nudity. So what's the background to that, and has anyone come a cropper yet?
Well, yes, there'll be plenty of stars, I think, who will come a cropper over the next few days if they don't listen to these rules. So the dress code at Cannes has been very much tightened. So they're saying no full nudity, but I think what they mean is any kind of nudity at all. And also any of those, those massive trains that actresses and, Z-list wannabes, I guess, they sort of trail up the red carpet, and it causes such a chaos because the dress has got to be puffed up for the photographs and then has to be basically packed away. And so it causes a huge logjam in this sort of blistering French or, south of France sunshine. So it is a problem for the celebrities whose makeup's probably dripping from their faces at this point. But it's also an issue when you're in the aisles inside the actual theatre because nobody can move because the dresses are blocking everyone's access point as well. So Halle Berry has come a cropper because she had a dress in mind which had one of these massive trains on it, and she said, well, I had to pick something else. So she was photographed yesterday in quite a nice demure, I was pleased to see, sort of black and white striped halter neck number, which was a bit of a contrast to what she wore to the Met Gala in New York recently, which I thought looked like she was wearing gaffer tape. I thought it was absolutely horrific. And she's a very attractive woman, and I don't feel needs to sort of dress in, like something out of Cher in the 1980s. But she's obviously taken the memo. She will stick to the rule because she's on the jury, of course.
Yeah, and fair enough, and you would absolutely expect that. And look, and to be honest, I actually have no issue with these sorts of rules being in place. I mean, when we watch from the television, you obviously don't see that sort of chaos there on the ground with all this fabric everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can understand they're on a schedule and they've got to get on with it. Absolutely.
That's right.
Louise Roberts, thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you.